Coach, you can just go with your opening statement, just wrapping up last week, and then just going into these two home games we have with Middle and Western coming this weekend.
It was a great week. Our guys were, I think, locked in and focused. We have been for the big part of the season on the road. And, I just had a really good feeling about the trip. I think the one thing that we've done all year long is when our back has been against the wall, our guys have shown a lot of resiliency. And we were on a mission, you could tell from the beginning, and we got a good little separation there in that Jacksonville game, and just kind of pushed through it. They made obviously a little bit of a run there at the end, but our guys withstood it, made some free throws, handled the press. And then Saturday was just an old-fashioned rock fight. I mean, you just had two teams that were playing extremely hard and battling. I know they were the leading scoring team in the league, but to me their defense, I think, is, probably doesn't get enough respect. They're so athletic and long. And the first time here, they switched everything that really bothered us. And we've seen that a lot this year. I think the first game we really started to see it was at FIU after we won our first two conference games here. And the one thing I think our team has done is we've really concentrated on trying to improve against that look. And so Saturday, they started out in that, and eventually they had to go back to just playing regular man because our guys executed so well and did a great job of getting the ball inside and slipping and doing all the different things that we work and discuss on against switching. So really proud of our progress. Of course, you always look at the negative, and it's just part of coaching and being a coach. Would love for us to continue to improve offensively and try to get that field goal offense up. I think once we get to 40%, we are a pretty good chance at winning, and so we got to keep striving to do that. Yes, Saturday we were a little short, but I know on Thursday night we shot above 40%. So, had some guys that had good trips. I thought Zadi really stepped up and played well. Of course, getting Peter back is a huge shot in the arm, and he played tremendous. 20 and 12 and 18 and 9. I think he's still one of the top players in this conference. And then we just got a really, really good group of guys that, our bench was terrific on that trip. Jacoby is continuing to show us all how good he's going to be. And, and then we had some guys that were really steady. Rob was pretty steady. I know his numbers didn't show it, but he was a plus 18 in his plus minus on Saturday. Jaden Harris had 2 points on Saturday. His plus minus was 13. And Deontay had 5 points, 4 rebounds, and 5 assists Saturday, and his plus minus was 13. So, to me, it's about winning. I think it's about winning to our guys, and whatever that means and whatever that looks like, I think they're willing to do that. So, anyway.
How was Peter just in practice last week, coming back into the fold, and, trying to get his energy, trying to get that weight back as well? Just what's he been like, and just leading up to the games last week?
Yeah, I mean, in all honesty, I didn't think he would have 20 points and 12 rebounds. He's been a little sluggish for sure. He's got a real bad cough. So every time, when you have a bad cough and you get really sweaty and you get your blood pressure up, you start coughing and it's hard to stop. And, I don't think he was feeling great. I do think he's getting better though. And I thought Saturday he showed a little bit of, less signs of being sick than he had in the prior week. But also playing as well as he's played, that also will make you feel better. But he's a pretty resilient guy. I'll say something about Peter, and other than the UTEP game, which I probably look back now and regret even putting him out there and playing him because he was non-existent and a non-factor in that game. Other than that game, when the lights have come on, he has risen to the occasion, and he is a gamer for sure.
What are some things that you guys have been trying to do in order to give him that 15 pounds back, kind of put him back on the way that he needs to be at?
I think the biggest thing, Nick, is just him eating. Once he started to get his appetite back, he's a big eater. And so I think just trying to get him as much, much calories, much protein as we can, just trying to, and then our weight program still stays the same year round, and just trying to get him back in the weight room. He'll be back in there today at 1 o'clock, and hopefully, he can continue to get stronger. He still looks thin. He doesn't look himself. But we got a couple weeks left here, and I think I saw something yesterday. I think 3 weeks from yesterday is the selection Sunday, and so we got a lot of work to do in these next 3 weeks.
You guys are on a 3-game winning streak. Can I ask, what have kind of been the differences you feel with your team now on this winning streak compared to the one you guys had when you started league play 4-0?
Golly, it's a good question. I think every part of the season is different. We're in that part of the season now where most teams have some injuries. Most teams have, losing a guy here or there. Most teams, are either playing good on one side of the ball or the other, or you're starting to play better on both sides of the ball. So, I don't know. I mean, I think that for sure getting Peter back was a huge shot in the arm. Anytime you can put a double-double back in your lineup, it's going to give you a good boost. So, right now we're just kind of trending in the right direction, which is what you want to do, and you're coming back home. We'll have 2 of the hardest games of the year. Middle Tennessee is, a team that's like us. They're fighting for their life to be up in the top of the league. And, then Western Kentucky, they beat us at their place by, it felt like 100. And, those are 2 teams that, are super talented. They're big. They can play a lot of different ways. And this is going to be a tough stretch for us. But just being able to, it's funny, this team has, it's had a lot of streaks this year. We went through that part of the season where we had lost, I think, 5 in a row and then turned around and won like 7 in a row. So there's been a lot of ups and downs. But I think the big part of that is just due to our inconsistency on the offensive side of the ball. We just had gone through those stretches where we weren't scoring. But now that we have everybody back and healthy, I think this is the best time for us to go in that direction where, we're going to be pretty consistent offensively on a night in and night out basis.
Speaking of that 3-point shooting, that was a real struggle for you guys last week, even though you guys won those games. I believe you guys only shot maybe 17% from 3 against Kennesaw. So just, what do you want to see improve from that to maybe try and get that 3-point shooting back for you guys?
Just make them. Just make them. I don't think offensively we haven't changed anything. They're still the same shots that we've been getting. Just got to get confident and, got to make them. Now, obviously taking the right ones. You want to. I think our percentage was poor last week, but I also think that our attempts were good, and that's what you want. You want good attempts. I think you can go to bed at night and rest knowing that you're taking good ones. That's what we got to do. I don't want to go out there and just get hungry for making threes and start jacking up a bunch of bad ones. Cook's gone through a stretch here where, like a lot of good players in our league, people are really trying to stop him, and they're trying to key on him and making somebody else beat him. And our guys have done a great job of doing that. They've taken up the slack, and I'm excited about that for the sense that I think Cook, when the time is right, I think we're going to see Cook take off again, and if he does, I think we're going to be pretty hard to beat.
You talked about Zadi a little bit, and he continued his stretch of good games last week, especially against Kennesaw and his home state. Just what'd you see from him, just in practice, and also just leading up to the games? Just what do you feel like contributed to just those performances from him last week?
Well, Zadi, number one, Zadi is and I've said this over and over again, but he's a high character person. Just a great kid, the leader and heart and soul of our team. And he has grown into that role, and he has earned that role. The other thing about Zadi is that, he has also got experience, even though it's not a lot of the Division I. What is he now? 27 Division I games. But the thing that he has is that he has postseason. He's got some experience in what it's like going down the stretch. And I think you see it. He's got a different look in his eye. I think he's got a look in his eye of, look, I came here to try to win a championship and get to the NCAA tournament. And so right now, he's got a little more focus, maybe even more laser focus. The other thing is that he's just being real aggressive right now, and we've tried to get him to be aggressive all year long. You know, we've tried to get him to shoot more, to take more shots, and I think sometimes that's hard for a guy who's trying to run a team. You know, this day and age, it's different than it used to be. You know, back when I played, you were the point guard and you didn't really shoot too much unless coach threw you a bone every once in a while. And I think, you know, nowadays, you know, I've had my teams in the last couple of years, point guard's been leading scorer on the team. And I think Zadi's trying to, you know, he's trying to come into his own where he understands that the team needs him to be more than just a pass first point guard. When he scores, we're pretty good. You know, I know Kelly had that stat in here one day about, I think when he scores double figures, I think we've only lost like one game maybe all year long. So we need him to score the ball. I think, you know, again, we're our best, like Saturday. You know, he really struggled Thursday from the field, but he still had almost double figures because he went to the free throw line 8 times, and he's a really good free throw shooter. So I'm excited about Zadi these next couple of weeks. I think we're gonna see his best.
Last few games that come up in the regular season, and I think this next week's gonna be the last few games for Jack Nixon commentating radio games here before he retires. Just I know you've only been here for a short amount of time, but just, you know, what has he been like to you since you've been here, and just, you know, anything you want to say to him before he bids farewell to New Mexico State?
Yeah, you know, that'll be a tough one. Jack is, you know, he's obviously a staple in this program, in this university, in this community. And, you know, anytime you lose someone of that caliber, and not just his job, but his persona, it's hard, you know. And Jack and I, it's interesting, but, you know, we're the two older people on the trips, you know, on our road trips. It's he and I, and everybody else is pretty younger, a lot younger. And so, you know, we've had some great conversations, you know, about everything from basketball, from the past to the present to the future to now. You know, we've talked about music and just all kinds of stuff, and you know, it's been fun getting to know Jack. You know, getting to know his personality. You know, he's got a really dry sense of humor. You know, I've said some things on air, and you know, we've looked at each other, and you know, I think Thursday I said something on Thursday, and he looked at me like, and we both started laughing, and I almost couldn't finish the interview because he was laughing. He was making me laugh, so it was funny, you know. And then we got ready to do it on Saturday, and he was like, "Please don't mention that name that you mentioned the other day." And you know, we've had a really good time together, and I hope he's had as good a time as I have. And you know, I think he's also been really good for me because he's been a positive force. He's a pretty positive guy. You know, it's always pretty much glass half full with him, and I think that's what you need for a guy, you know, who's taken over what I did and just had a lot of ups and downs, and just trying to get this, you know, this program back up. He's been really positive in that sense and really helped me through some tough times, and for that I'm always going to remember that and always be appreciative of that. So yeah, I told him the other day, you know, he was so excited after that Jacksonville game, and I said, "Hey Jack, man, we're gonna mess around and win this thing. You're gonna come back." And he said, "I might come back, Coach." He goes, "No, I'm not coming back." So I think he's done. You know, I think the other thing that we've talked about is, like, for a coach or for, you know, administrator, commentator, media people, whatever, I think maybe the best thing is the day when you know you're done. And I think there's so many coaches out there that retire and then they regret it, and then like a year or two later, you know, they're just going crazy because they don't know what to do with themselves, and you know, they got nothing to do. And he woke up one day and was like, "It's time. I'm ready," you know. And hey, look, I mean, let's be honest with each other, man. Them road trips are tough. You know, you're going all the way from Miami, Florida to Lynchburg, Virginia. That's no fun, you know, sometimes. So I think he was ready for that part of it to be over with. And, you know, maybe if we can get us a private jet and, you know, we can charter every single road trip, maybe we can drag him back out of retirement.
Just you guys lead the league in scoring defense. Last 3 games, holding opponents to under 50 points per game. What's been kind of the key to your defensive success recently? And I guess as a defensive-minded coach, how happy, if that's the proper word to use, does that make you to see you guys following through on that end of the floor?
Well, I think winning always makes you the happiest. But as a coach who, you know, values defense and what that means for a team and a program, I'm pretty happy with this team. You know, I thought at the beginning of the year we had so many interchangeable pieces, and you know, Coach Andrus, who's been with me now for about 5 years, you know, he said, "Coach, this could be one of our best defensive teams." And you know, I thought, maybe so, but you know, I thought as the year went on, we were pretty good early, but wasn't real sure how good we could be. And over the last month or two, to see these guys guard the way they're guarding right now, it makes you feel good. You know, I think anytime you throw 12 guys in there with 3 returners and you're trying to sell them something, and you know they've bought in, and that makes a coach feel good. So we're guarding at a high level right now. I haven't gotten with Lawrence today to see what our stats are for the month or for the week, but I do think last week we were like 11th in the country in field goal threes, and I would guess now we're probably in the top 10 in the country. And you know, I think our field goal defense was like 26th or 27th last week, and I would guess that's probably down, you know, somewhere in the top 15. So we're trending in the right direction for sure. I think the biggest thing though, Sam, more than anything, is just rebounding that ball. You know, trying to finish those possessions off when, you know, you got a defensive rebound. That's what really makes your defense good, is to be able to finish those possessions and not give people extra chances. So again, we just got to keep getting better. You know, I told them Saturday after the game, you know, listen, you know, I held my phone up and I was like, you know, look, these things could be good and these things could be bad. And, you know, I think when you're doing really, really well, you can get caught up in all these people praising you. And when you're doing bad, you can get caught up in people throwing you under the bus. You know, again, I just don't, you know, I try to live my life where, you know, it's never as good as it seems, it's never as bad as it seems. You know, I don't know if you guys saw the national media, I think maybe yesterday afternoon, or it may have been Saturday evening. Indiana, Purdue, Matt Painter, the coach from Purdue, they interviewed him about the Indiana job. It's pretty interesting. I think everybody should listen to it. But it just talks about like Twitter and social media and how, you know, out of that, there's probably about 10% of those people that are actually truly, you know, people that don't understand it and don't get it. And those are the people that you hear from. And he just talked about how, you know, all those people have, you know, been ready to fire Coach Woodson at Indiana, and then they're probably going to make the NCAA tournament now. And the fact that, you know, they just beat Purdue at home by like 17. So he just was talking about how, like, you know, you just can't listen to stuff like that and you can't really worry about it. So I told our guys, listen, can't get caught up in everybody telling you how good you are, because 2 weeks ago when you lost 2 in a row at home, you know, they were ready to disown you. So, man, just keep playing, keep working, keep believing in what we're doing and what we stand for, and good things are going to happen to you. You know, good things always happen to good people. So we're excited about the direction that we're headed, but we also know how hard it's going to be. I mean, you know, Middle Tennessee is one of the most talented teams in our conference. You know, they're huge. We also played them at their place last time when their big guy didn't play, Mustafa. So we get a shot at him, we get a shot at them. And then again, you know, I'm okay with bringing it up and talking about it. Like, we got absolutely demolished at Western Kentucky. I mean, we gave up 18 threes, you know, and you're talking about being the number 10 three-point field goal defensive team in the country, and that's including us giving up 18 in one game. So we got a lot of work to do this week, and you know, I think if we can continue to stay locked in and laser focused, then we're going to be in good position. And you know, there's nothing better than to be sitting here next Monday, going, you know, if we're 17-12 and we're heading to Louisiana Tech and Sam Houston, I think we'll all feel pretty good about where we're at.
I know you mentioned during these last 3 games it's your job as a coach to kind of press the buttons and mix things up given circumstances with Peter and everything. How are you going about that now that it looks like Peter's, you know, closer to returning to his normal self, but you still have, you know, I guess Nathan Emmanuel, who have started the last 3 games, produce, and you guys have won the last 3 games.
Well, I mean, listen, coaching is really, really, really hard. All right, and the reason that it's so hard is because you take everything to heart, right? So if you win 3 in a row, you feel like you gotta win 4 in a row, you know. And if you lose 3 in a row, you feel like it's the end of the world. So, you know, I don't ever say, man, look where we did. We just went on the road and did something that no one else has done. Because, like, look, we've also lost home games, and we got 2 big ones this week. So I don't ever get too high or too low. Again, it's never as good as it seems. It's never as bad as it seems. But you have to push buttons throughout a season, you know. And you know, we put Nate in there, and that was a button we pushed, and it's worked out pretty well. You know, we put Jacoby in there, and that's pushing a button, and it worked out pretty well. You know, we've kind of moved Zadi off the ball some at times, and you know, that's a button you push, and that button, it worked pretty well. So, you know, it's you know, you never pat yourself on the back, because you know, you just know how hard it is, and I think more than anything, you just appreciate when things do go good. You appreciate when things go good, and you appreciate when you feel like you push the right buttons. But you know, you're always on your toes, and you're always ready for that next move. We're good.
Thank you, Coach.
All right.
Peter, just how have you been just health-wise recently, and you know, coming back and trying to be at full strength?
Yeah, I mean, I'm making good progress. It's been a slow progress, but as I started practicing, it's been getting better. I'm still not 100%. I'm still like coughing and having a little sore throat, but it's pretty good.
So what was like the virus that you had? Was it just like more than the flu? Was it something else? What did they tell you that you had?
Yeah, I mean, just the flu. Like, I don't know if it was anything specific, but it really affected like my throat, my mouth, and I wasn't
eating.
Yeah, so I wasn't able to eat for like a couple of days, and that's why I lost like a lot of weight.
What have you been trying to do to try and get the pounds back that you lost, and try to, you know, as you try to get back to your own self again?
Yeah, just trying to eat as much as possible. Been drinking a lot of protein shakes with a lot of calories, and yeah, just eating.
What have you been eating?
I mean, yesterday I had like 2 Kenya combos from Cane's.
Oh wow!
So, you know, just the foods with the calories.
Just a bunch of stuff, just
just
anything that moves.
Yeah.
There you go.
Do you know what weight you dropped to?
Yeah.
The least you remember?
Like 203,
What do you normally? What were you walking around?
like 217.
Oh gosh. Okay.
You did this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess just you know, now that it looks like you're working your way back to normal, played the last great 2 games. Just kind of run me through what that experience was like, coming off the bench, still battling an illness, but producing the games you still had.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care much about coming off the bench as long as I finish the game on the court. It was kind of different though, because like moving with that much less of weight was a little different. I felt a little faster, you know, less stronger but faster. Yeah, so I'm just trying to adjust now to being lighter while trying to gain the weight back.
Just that you guys defensively have been playing very well. You lead the league in scoring defense. Last 3 games, you're holding opponents to like less than 50 points per game. Defensively, what's been working for you guys in this stretch?
Yeah, I think just being more connected, and in these past 2 games, I feel like we made the right adjustments. Like compared to the last 2 games when we played Jack State and Kennesaw, and yeah, we're just more connected and just being in the gas, being in the help, and relying on our other teammates to have our backs.
How does it feel from a player perspective to have the success you guys are having on defense when you're playing for a defensive-minded coach like Hooten?
Yeah, I mean, that's what we want. That's how we win games. You know, like I think Kennesaw averaged like around 80 points at home, and we held them to like 49. So that's the type of basketball that we play, and that's how we win.
On the other end of that, you guys are the lowest scoring team in the league. From your perspective, what needs to? I know you coming back obviously helps, but what can help you guys just maybe put more points on the board at the end of the day?
Yeah, I mean, just honestly, I think we got good looks. Is just making the shots that we're supposed to make. And I don't think we have been shooting the three great lately, but the looks are there, and just knocking a couple down, that's gonna help us.
Playing Middle on Thursday, you guys beat them at their place last time around. What is it going to take this second time around to get a win against them here at home?
Yeah, just executing the same game plan or similar game plan, and just wanting to win more than Middle.
Looking at this week, how are you guys feeling about this week? You guys are on a 3-game winning streak, and then you get Middle, who is a really good team, right above you guys in the standings, and then later this week you guys get Western, who did put 100 points on you guys. Just how are you guys feeling with these two challenges ahead?
Yeah, I think we are coming in confident into these next two games. We only have 4 left, and I think we really picked it up this past week. So I'm excited to play them, and then especially playing at home. It's always a lot better playing in front of our fans and the energy they gave us.
Last one.
Go.
Just obviously, as I mentioned earlier, you guys are on a 3-game winning streak. Can I ask how it feels to be on a winning streak now compared to the winning streak you guys were on earlier when you started league play 4-0?
Yeah, I mean, it feels the same, although going on a winning streak now means more because it's towards the end of the season and it's towards the conference championship. Yeah, I mean, just feels good.
How do you personally, try to, balance like your personal health, you trying to keep your body right, so keep fit basically, while also trying to balance, eating gains, try to get all the weight back in and things like that. How do you try to get all that and still treat your body right?
Yeah, I mean, at this part of the season, I think Coach Hooden said us something about like nobody's 100% on none of the teams. I'm just trying to get in the training room and work with Danny. My back is still bothering me a little bit from the beginning of the season, so I'm constantly taking care of that with some exercises and stretching. And then, with my weight, I'm just trying to eat as much as I can.
How do you maybe are trying to get maybe the fatigue or maybe the stamina and the endurance back that you maybe obviously really didn't have when you had the flu, and trying to build that back to maybe trying to get in the starting lineup again and play a lot again? Yeah,
just practicing, just going up and down. I feel like my stamina is pretty good. So this week we're gonna go at it Tuesday, Wednesday, and then play Thursday. So I feel like I'll be good.
Against Kennesaw, you guys were pretty good on defense throughout the game, but between the first half and the second half, you guys maybe only had. You guys started off by missing a few of your shots in the first half, and we ended up with 22 at halftime. But in the second half, you guys scored 38. You guys were able to pull away by keeping that defense and also improving on offense. So just on the offensive end, the second half against Kennesaw, what do you feel like improved mostly, and just to pull away against Kennesaw? Yeah, I think we figured it out. They were showing different kind of defenses. They were switching 1-4, sometimes 1-5, and I think we did a good job on slipping the screens and just finding the open man. These are going to be the last few home games for Jack Nixon, the radio commentator for you guys who've been commentating games for a long time. I know you've only been here for a year and maybe have experienced less than others have, but just what have you gotten to know about him? Just what's he been like for you guys since you've been here, and just anything you'd like to say to him before he bids farewell to you guys? I mean he's a great guy. He always comes with us on the away trips, and that's where I get to talk to him most of the time. He likes to ask about my country, Hungary, even the food. He's very interested in learning about my culture and me. Thank you, Jack, for all the work that he has done for NMSU, and I hope he has a great retirement.
Cool.
Thanks, Peter.